High above the deep blue canvas of the sky, there lived a small, fluffy white cloud. This wasn't just any cloud. This little wisp of vapor had a heart that beat for one thing and one thing only: speed. Every single day, without fail, it would push itself to drift just a little bit faster than the day before. In its misty little mind, it was already the champion, the quickest, most agile cloud in the entire world. It would watch the slow, lumbering giants drift by and think, "I can do better than that." It pictured itself as a celestial race car, a feathery arrow shooting across the endless expanse. It imagined winning grand races against the sunbeams and the migrating birds, leaving everything else in a gentle, puffy trail of dust or well mist. One particularly bright and crisp morning, the world seemed to hold its breath. The air was still, almost unnervingly so. Then, it happened. A powerful, invigorating gust of wind began to stir. It wasn't a lazy breeze. This was a mighty, determined current, sweeping through the sky with purpose. For our little cloud, this was the moment it had been dreaming of. This was its starting pistol, its green flag, its glorious, exhilarating chance to truly race. The wind caught its edges, lifting it and propelling it forward with a thrilling whoosh. The race had officially begun, and the little cloud felt a surge of pure, unadulterated joy. It was ready to show the world what it was made of. With the wind as its loyal partner, the cloud took off like a shot. It zoomed across the sky, a white blur against the brilliant blue. It approached a majestic mountain range, its jagged peaks scraping the heavens. Instead of going around, the cloud shot right over them, skimming so close to the snowy caps that it left tiny, delicate trails of mist in its wake, like a skier carving fresh tracks. It felt powerful, unstoppable. The world below was a fast-moving tapestry of greens and browns. It rushed over vast, ancient forests, and the force of its passage sent leaves on the treetops twirling and dancing down to the forest floor, like 1,000 tiny green and gold ballerinas. It was a whirlwind of motion, a spectacle of speed. Next, the little cloud found itself soaring over the immense, shimmering ocean. The water below sparkled and glittered, reflecting the sun's rays as if millions of tiny diamonds were cheering it on. It raced the waves, which seemed to crest and crash in a rhythmic applause for its incredible velocity. The salty spray tickled its underside, and it felt a connection to the wild, untamed energy of the sea. It flew past coastal towns, where people looked up, pointing at the unusually fast-moving puff in the sky. To them, it was a curious sight. To the cloud, it was a victory lap. It had conquered the mountains, danced with the forests, and now it was out racing the ocean itself. What could possibly be next? But as the cloud continued its high-speed journey across the globe, something began to change. With every forest it passed, with every river it crossed, and with every bit of ocean it soared over, it gathered moisture. Tiny, invisible droplets of water were drawn into its fluffy form, clinging to its very essence. At first, it was barely noticeable, just a slight feeling of substance. But soon, the weight began to add up. The cloud that was once as light as a feather started to feel heavy, dense, and burdened. Its once sharp edges began to blur and sag. The exhilarating speed it had cherished so much started to wane. It was like a runner suddenly finding their shoes filled with lead. The cloud tried to fight it. It pushed harder against the wind, trying to recapture that initial burst of freedom, but its own growing mass was working against it. The heavier it became, the slower it moved. The slower it moved, the more it began to sink, pulled down by the relentless force of gravity. The sky, which had once felt like an open racetrack, now felt like a struggle. The world below, once a blur of exciting scenery, was now coming into focus with alarming clarity. The little cloud was losing its altitude, losing its momentum, and most importantly, losing its race against itself. The feeling of invincibility was replaced by a creeping sense of exhaustion and defeat. Floating lower and lower, the cloud finally understood. It had been so consumed by its love for speed, so obsessed with being the fastest, that it had forgotten a fundamental truth. It had pushed itself too hard for too long, without a moment's pause. It had gathered and gathered, taking in all that moisture without ever stopping to release it. It had become too full, too burdened by its own ambition. In that moment of quiet realization, hovering just above the thirsty fields and meadows, the cloud knew what it had to do. It wasn't about giving up, it was about letting go. It was about finding balance. It had to release the weight that was holding it down. And so, with a gentle sigh, the cloud let it all out. It released its heavy burden in a soft, refreshing rain shower. The droplets fell gracefully, pattering onto the dry earth, watering the flowers, and filling the streams. It wasn't a storm, but a gift. The parched land drank it in, and a scent of fresh, clean earth rose up to meet the cloud. As the rain fell, the cloud felt itself growing lighter and lighter. The immense pressure was gone. The weight that had dragged it down was now giving life to the world below. It was a beautiful, peaceful exchange, and the cloud felt a new kind of satisfaction, one that had nothing to do with speed. Once again, light and buoyant, the cloud began to float. It rose gently, effortlessly, back up into the vast blue sky it called home. It found its place among the other clouds, drifting calmly and serenely. A deep sense of pride filled its being, but it was a different kind of pride now. It wasn't the frantic, arrogant pride of being the fastest. It was the quiet, profound pride of understanding its own nature, of knowing its own limits, and of finding harmony with the world around it. The little cloud still loved the thrill of speed, and it knew there would be other windy days to race. But now, it also understood the profound importance of slowing down, of resting, and of giving back. It learned that even the fastest racers need their moments of calm, their gentle rain showers, to truly be able to soar. Thanks so much for watching our story today. We hope it reminded you that it's okay to slow down and take a rest. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.